Yay Media Group.
This goes back 15 years, and I made Joe Mantegna some of my Giardiniera. And he goes, oh man, thank you. You know, I know exactly what this is. And he put it down on the bench. And then after he didn't get those targets, I'm sure it wasn't correlated at all, you know, with the two things. But when he left, I'm like, thanks, Joe. What a great day. And he's like, all right, see you later. And he left. And then all of a sudden we're, you know, cleaning up all the stuff. And I go, oh man, Joe didn't take his Giardiniera. I go, I wonder if he was pissed that I hit both of those targets.
Hey guys, episode 141. Sorry, if you're watching, I look like crap today. I have been cleaning my house all day, trying to get everything ready. Kids are done with school on Friday. There's like field day tomorrow. You know, this time of year, there's always like stuff going on at the school.
Oh, it's the best.
So you're going to be in and out of the school. That's like my favorite time.
Yeah.
Growing up is the end of the school year. And then Friday, I was either going to take the kids to go see Lilo and Stitch, the new movie.
That comes out Friday?
Yeah, either that or take them to like main event and let them play some games like with some friends from school and then just do something like that. But before we started this podcast, I was upstairs all day today. I've been like folding all this laundry. And so I had to get all the laundry done because I'm like crazy about that. It has to get all done or I would sit here and that's all I would think about while we were talking is the laundry sitting on the bed. Interesting.
Life's tough, huh?
No, I need everything to be organized. I don't want anything to think about. Also, another thing I was going to say, because a lot of you on my social media have been asking, and again, this isn't ad or anything. Remember, was it not last episode, the episode before, I talked about Prenuvo and Jeff went, you know, I booked both our appointments, but Jeff went, but I got my results back. You already did your consultation before me with the doctor.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to say it was so funny because I texted Jeff after he got his done and I was like, how did you do? And it made me laugh because I was like all freaking out before. And then you said that they had to check on you because they were worried because you weren't moving and you fell asleep.
I fell asleep, yeah. It's a little, when you get in there, if you're claustrophobic, again, I don't know.
We're not going to go through
this all
everything.
ties together, you know what I mean? Everything that we're going through. But when you go in there, you're laying down and it's open on both ends. And I'm not really that claustrophobic, but they do put these things on your legs and then on your chest and also on your head. But then they give you these goggles where you could watch Netflix. So for me, it just made it easy. I put on Arrested Development and watch it, but I was nodding in and out. And they give you headphones too, because it's kind of loud in there. So you wear earplugs and headphones. And I was nodding out a couple of times. But then when there was like 10 minutes left, I woke up and I had this tickle in my throat. And I kept coughing, but they say like, don't move. And they give you this little button.
Yeah.
And I almost pressed the button. I'm like, I got to get a drink of water. None of these results are going to come out. So I ended up, you know, toughing it out, quote unquote. And I just finished my thing.
I had an itch on my nose.
So did I.
And you know when it burns? And I was sitting there like, oh. And then I was like trying to move my nose. And then they're like, you're moving too much.
Yeah, I was kind of out in there. I don't know. I was just tired from work.
Yeah, but I just wanted to say that because I thought it was funny. And people were asking me about my results. So mine were just like the stuff I kind of already knew. Jeff's good friend's wife is a nurse or a nurse practitioner. And she told me a long time ago, she goes, you got a deviated septum. I go, I do. And she's like, one of your nostrils is bigger than the other, but I have a deviated septum. I said I had scoliosis. Another thing that was really cool. I was born without, I'm missing an extra, what is it? Vertebrae?
You do?
On my back.
You have an extra one?
I'm missing one.
Oh, really?
And I was like, that's kind of cool. So I was born without it. And then one of my liver, I forgot the term, what they called it. And it like goes by my spleen. I forgot the name, what it said on the app. So it's bigger. It's like wider. So I thought like stuff like that. I'm like, that's really cool. I'm like different, you know?
You got a jumbo liver?
Yeah, I got a liver that, I don't know. I forgot what they called it. But, and then what else did it? I love how like deep it is. Like how it takes a dive. I have a cyst on my liver and maybe a cyst on my cervix, but it said it was nothing to worry about. But tomorrow I do the consult. So the app's so easy and it just breaks everything down for you. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm good. And then the next day I do my consult with the doctor, and then they just go over everything. And then today you did the deep dive with the doctor,
Yeah.
and yours was fine too. Your shoulder, which you knew your shoulder was messed up from like football.
Mhm.
You always complain about your shoulder.
Yeah. So my shoulders have like a bit of arthritis in there.
Did
Nothing
you
to
tell
worry
me
about.
about your kickball?
I did.
And how your hamstring.
I did, because I was at work and we filmed our first show, but we had to film a bonus show at for Memorial Day. So I filmed that at noon and I did my results, but I was like, I got to read my script, before I do the show. So I told the lady, we were on for like 40 minutes. I go, hey, could we speed through this? Like it's all good news. I just want to get to the warning stuff, because they break it down. You download the app and they break everything down, and then they have warnings on there and you look into it. And then it says nothing to worry about. I just want you to know about this. And then when you talk to the nurse, they break everything down. Again, we're not doing this for any ad, so to speak. I just thought it was very interesting. And I thought people out there might find it interesting and maybe look into it for themselves. Again, we're at that age where, I need to be proactive rather than reactive. But anyways, so mine said my spine was a warning. So they're just like, that's natural aging, but make sure, you keep doing your ab work so your core stays strong, and that'll help your spine and things like that. And they're like, do more things like yoga. And I kind of fell out of yoga. I got to get back into that, because I do notice at work, if you're like around a computer, and this new thing that they're just finding out is tech neck. That's the term for it. But you're always looking down, whether at your computer or your phone.
That's me.
And people's spines are starting to adjust to that. And they're just
Really?
finding that out now. Yeah, because we've never had this technology where people carry around their phones all
I'm
day.
gonna have tech neck.
Yeah, so that was
I'm always like this, looking
something
down at
on
my
mine,
phone.
like the top of my back. And then, my shoulders, like I said, have a bit of arthritis. Everything else was perfectly fine. No lumps, no pre-cancer things, nothing like that. God bless, But just what else was there in mine? Oh, and I have like a tiny hernia. They're like, you have to watch that too. It finds everything.
I know. It knew about my C-section scar. It said C-section scar, and then IUD. Oh, I didn't have ruptured breast implants, which was great. I was like, that's great.
Yeah.
Knowing I don't have silicone floating around my body. And it said I have dense breast tissue.
Yeah. So all these things
Yeah.
are warnings, but they tell you look into a little further. You'll learn more when you talk to the nurse.
Yeah.
And then I asked, I go, before I left, I go, listen, this might seem stupid, but I was playing adult kickball last year, and I tore something like in my upper hip or my quad. I'm not sure exactly like where or what it is. But even when I work out now, like if I just do like stretches and I'm crossing my legs or something, and when I'm stretching pretty good and I just go back up, it tweaks a little bit. Or if I kick something out of the way, it still bothers me,
Mm-hmm.
And I asked, I'm like, would that show up on the scan? And she's like, it might if it was something severe. She's like, I don't think it's that severe, but if you want to go take a closer look, you might want to get an actual x-ray of that area, and they could look into that a little bit more to see if there's surgery or something that needs to be done.
Well, you better watch out for it, because we got kickball this Saturday.
I'm kicking with my left foot.
Kicking with your left foot, just don't kick as hard.
Yeah, I don't know. What was I thinking? What was I trying to do?
We were just really into it.
I was really into it.
We're playing, y'all know the last time, well, I'm just saying this in case some of you missed. We played adult kickball, and you have to hold a cup in your hand while you kick the ball and run, and you have to catch it. If you're in the outfield, you have to catch the kickball with the drink in your hand. So we're doing that all over again this Saturday playing.
Oh, is that this Saturday?
Yeah, it's locked in. That's what I told Jeff the other day. I go, I have a meeting with some friends making summer plans. And he's like, oh, yeah, like for the kids. We only got past, I think we only discussed one thing, and we all had like 3 or 4 margaritas, and we're like tipsy by the time we got home, and then I wanted to go to bed.
So you got nothing done.
I got nothing done, but we got kickball.
That's usually how it goes.
That's what we discussed.
But it's when you get older, like to our age or, a little bit older, your mind still thinks you could do all those things.
I know.
But your body can't. And that's the most embarrassing one, is like I played college football and I was nuts all those years, and I get hurt playing football. Yeah, but
I feel like I would be the one that would pull a hamstring. I'm the one that's fluffy, not you.
Well, I tried to kick it too hard in co-ed kickball. What was I doing? I'm an idiot. This past weekend, we were playing, my neighbors got a new basketball hoop, and we were playing horse. And, on the third one, you get 2 shots, and I missed it, but the ball came back at me. So I was pissed, and I went to go dunk it. And I dunked it, but they said don't dunk on the rim. So I went up and then I realized I can't dunk it. So I just threw it down. The rim was obviously shorter. It's not a 10-foot rim. And I threw it down. But then when I did that, because I couldn't hang on it, when I fell, I almost did a tumble down the driveway. I put one hand down and I caught myself. And Mark was like, oh man, you almost ate it, dude.
Oh,
I was like, what am I doing? Why do I do that? In my head, I just get these little spasms, like I'm a little kid again. And I think my body could keep up.
I was trimming my bushes yesterday, and today I woke up and I was like, I am so sore. I lifted a bunch of weights and I was trimming the bushes. That thing was heavy that Rich bought me. Rich bought me the bush trimmer.
Yeah.
And I just going up, down, and sideways. I got a good workout with that. But I don't even try physical activity.
Well, you should. I should too. I mean, I need to get back into it too. So I'm the pot calling the ghetto. What is that saying? The pot calling the kettle black. Yeah, that's me. Mm-hmm. Because I've been slacking.
You got a lot.
Let's take a quick break. Come back and talk about some more nonsense. All right, everybody, we have some huge news. AG1 that you all heard us talking about for so long went through a major upgrade. AG1's next gen is here. It's the same single scoop once a day, just like we always talk about, but now clinically backed and formulated with more upgraded vitamins, minerals, and probiotics.
AG1's next gen is now one of the most clinically backed greens powder. They went above and beyond the industry standard in testing and have made a great product even better. I love AG1. Been drinking it for 2 years now?
Yeah.
And I love, it's just, for me, 4 ounces. I do a water, single scoop, pour it in your AG1, shake it up. And I also do the vitamin D3 K2 drops.
And even when we're on the road, those travel packets are great. It's one of the habits that I've been doing every single day for years on end, and I haven't broken yet.
And you know what's great about this next gen? The travel packs now are instead of it being the square, it's just like the rectangular shape, and it's a lot easier to peel and pour.
They've not only upgraded their formula, but they upgraded their packaging. And when you subscribe to their monthly subscription, I got to tell you about that scooper. And
the scooper is makes you feel fancy.
AG1's next gen formula has been clinically shown to help fill common nutrient gaps, even in healthy eaters.
The new next gen formula offers a more advanced, clinically backed formula that fills common nutrient gaps and supports gut health, all in the same easy one-day ritual.
Yeah, we love it. You know we love it. And now I hope you love it. So subscribe today to try the next gen of AG1. If you use our link, you also get a free bottle of AG D3 K2 and an AG1 welcome kit and 5 of the free AG1 travel packs that Jordan was talking about with your first order. So get started with AG1's next gen and notice the benefits for yourself. That's drinkag1.com/togetherness.
Get your gut health in check.
All right, welcome back. Real quickly before we get into what we're going to talk about, I wanted to talk about, I went shotgun shooting this weekend with our neighbors again. One of my neighbors, hopefully that we have on the podcast actually for Memorial Day. He's one of the cul-de-sac boys. And he's a Green Beret, and he started this organization, which he'll tell you more about, hopefully if we have him for our Memorial Day show, which would be cool. I think he's going to come on. We just have to double check with him. But he started his own foundation about helping Green Berets and their families. And he raised a lot of money over this weekend, so we all had to pay a little something, but they supply lunch and breakfast, and you go out to this gun range here in Colorado, it's 45 minutes from where we live, and you shoot 10 targets, 10 clay pigeons, they're called, at each target. You know, so it was a fun day, something totally different. But by the 10th station, these guys were, ex-military, ex-Green Berets out there.
You said it was shotguns?
There were shotguns, yeah, 12-gauge shotguns.
Was it, you shoot you back once you shoot it?
So you hold it up.
Is it strong?
It's a little strong, but not too bad. So you hold it up on your shoulder, And in the beginning, I was putting my face like on it. And I'm like, man, my face hurts. And they're like, don't put your face on the shotgun. Because I was like trying to go right down the sights, line up the sights. And they're like, no, it's more like a feel. So by the end, I was getting the hang of it. But I got the worst score in the group. I got a 36 out of 100.
But you've never shot anything, right?
I've shot before.
Oh, you have?
The last time, I got a funny story. The last time I shot a shotgun was on this CBS show that I did called Between Takes, and I shot a shotgun with Joe Mantegna.
That was a good show.
That was a great show. It just never got picked up for season 2, but that was a really good show.
It was
and a good concept.
You just like went around to celebrities and got to highlight the celebrities and see them in a different light, like doing something fun.
Yeah. So I don't know if I've talked about this or if you haven't heard. The concept of the show obviously is the name of the show is Between Takes. And I think I did 6 different people from CBS, like a soap guy, another girl on a sitcom, and Joe Mantegna was one from Criminal Minds, not the quarterback. And we went out. He's part of a gun club out in California. So he taught me how to shoot handguns. He was like, or not taught me, but that's what he likes to do in his spare time. So he brought his own guns and I was shooting with them. And then I'd interview him between things, So I'm like, hey, I'm here with Joe Mantegna. This is his gun club and he really likes this. Let's go see what our day has in store for us, whatever. And then we'd shoot and I'd be like, Joe, how'd you get into acting? Or how's Criminal Minds going? And then we'd keep shooting and then we'd more interview. And then we started shooting shotguns. And this is a funny story with Joe. He's never going to listen to this. But so we go to shoot shotguns and I think my dad used to take me duck hunting and pheasant hunting when I was a kid. So I've shot a couple times, but not at all. I'm definitely amateur status. This was 15 years ago. And so Joe, he was teaching me how to shoot. He goes, you say pull, and then these 2 clay pigeons are going to come out, exactly what we did the other day. So he went first. He goes, I'll show you how it's done. And he goes, pull. And he pops one and then misses the second one. And he goes, hold on. I want to get them both for the take.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm like, yeah, take as many as you want. He goes, pull. He hits the first one, misses the second one. He goes, hold on, man. I'm going to do it one more time. I'm like, Joe, shoot till you're happy, man. So he goes, pull. And he hits the first one, misses the second one. And he goes, you know what? That's fine. He goes, we got it. Because he didn't want to be there all day. I guess he's a good shot, but he was just mad at himself. So he goes, all right, now you try it. And I was like, all right, let me see if I could do it. And I go, pull. Boom, boom. And I smoked them both. And I was like, oh my God, Joe, that's amazing, man. I'm like, I can't believe I got them both. And he goes, let me try again after I shot. And he only got one again. He was like really frustrated. But the funny part of the whole story is when I knew I was interviewing Joe Mantegna in the beginning of the day, I'm like, oh, this guy's Italian. He'll like my Giardiniera. And this is how long I've been talking about making Giardiniera. This goes back 15 years. And I made Joe Mantegna some of my Giardiniera. And he goes, oh man, thank you. I know exactly what this is. And he put it down on the bench. And then after he didn't get those targets, I'm sure it wasn't correlated at all, with the 2 things. But when he left, I'm like, thanks, Joe. What a great day. And he's like, all right, see you later. And he left. And then all of a sudden we're, cleaning up all the stuff. And I go, oh man, Joe didn't take his Giardiniera. I go, I wonder if he was pissed that I hit both of those targets.
He probably was like, wait, what is this? Is this laced with something?
Yeah, he's probably like, it had nothing to do with hitting the targets. I just made that as an excuse, but he just forgot it.
Home and Family. We were on Home and Family, and Jeff brought Giardiniera for the host, I think. It was the host or for like the guest, because you were just trying to get the word out about your Giardiniera, which is smart. And I remember you brought it, and everybody's like, oh, thank you. And you were talking about your Giardiniera. And when we were done and wrapped up with the show, they all left their Giardiniera. No one took it home with them, and I grabbed them and took them back. Probably because it's
people
just
don't know what it is.
Because it's in a small jar, like how you had it. I mean, if it was me and I didn't know the person, I might be like, oh, I'm not going to take this. I don't know if they put it in it. I kind of get weird about that stuff too. So maybe that's why they felt that way. But 2 times.
I've brought it other places too. Some people like it. Some people are scared. Some people, don't want to eat other people's canned goods.
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyways, going back to the shotgun thing.
Because it's LA.
Oh yeah.
Is it vegan? I don't know. Gluten?
Okay. I'm glad you got that in. But anyways, going back to the whole shotgun thing. So it was a fun day. So I got 36 out of 100. Like I said, Mark, my neighbor, got 37 out of 100. I didn't add it up till the end. I was like, oh man, but I thought that was good. I was starting to get the hang of it towards the end, but all of our shoulders were sore. It was a great day. Everyone was super sweet. But guess what I think I already told you, but one of this guy is like a marksman You know, and they're different, shooting shotguns as opposed to AKs or whatever they use in the military. It's all different. But this one guy, they gave an award for the top 3. And this one guy in front of us owns a gun store here in Colorado. And he was actually, every time he shot, he was right in front of us. You know, you follow people to the station. He was so nice. And he was like telling me like what to do. He's like, this one, you want to aim like a foot in front of this one. And he goes, when the second one comes out, you want to drill that thing right up its ass. Just go right down the barrel. Because it's like kind of shooting away from you.
How do you eye it? Like, so it's even. That's what I've always wondered. I would love to shoot something. But then I'm like, how do you know? Like, because you think you're aiming it right, but it could be totally off. That's my thing.
Well, a shotgun kind of blast is a little wider, so you have a little leeway there. It's not like one bullet.
Oh,
it's a spread of bullets, so you have a little bit of leeway. But anyways, the guy who came in first hit 96 out of 100.
That's amazing.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And the guy in front of us who was helping me out took second or third, and he had like 85 or something.
I'd want those guys on my side.
Well, they are on our side. They all fight for our country.
Speaking of this, I was telling you today, I was talking to you, and I listened to Jason. Is it Jason Tarek? He is from The Bachelor. I don't know if that's his last name. He dated Caitlin Bristol, and he has his own podcast. It's a financial podcast. And sometimes if he posts about people he has that I get curious about, I'll listen. I don't listen all the time. Or like if he has certain reality people on and he'll ask them like, oh, how much did you make this year? It's very interesting. He's very good at what he does, like with the interviewing, and he has really good guests on there.
Today, Junior,
and,
get to the story.
Sorry. And well, I'm just explaining in case nobody knows who it is. Anyways, he had the guy who was a Navy SEAL that killed Osama bin Laden. And I was telling you all the details about it. It was a really good episode and was just very interesting because he asked him, this guy saved Captain Phillips when his ship, remember, got invaded by the
Somali pirates. Yeah.
And then he is the one that got Osama bin Laden. And you would think he made all this money as a Navy SEAL and he's risking his life. Because he was talking about the scariest part after like killing him is getting out of there. He's like, we got to get out of there. And he said he was making, what did I tell you? $2,500 every 2 weeks. It was either $2,000 or $2,500 every 2 weeks. And he goes, and then there's people in Congress that are supposedly making $200,000, but they're worth $80 million.
But they're
calling shots. And they've never been to war. They've never risked their life. And it was what he said. He was like, killing Osama bin Laden, I wasn't doing that for, or the president or anybody. He was doing it he was like the lady that dropped off her kid at school and then went to go to work and then had to jump out of the Twin Tower because she wasn't going to make it. He's like, that's who, you're thinking about.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow, like that guy's got stories. And he didn't make that much. He said he made more money public speaking in 6 months than he did as a Navy SEAL.
Yeah. I mean,
that's so messed up.
Yeah. So Zach, going back to our neighbor, he'll tell these stories. And afterwards they had this little banquet and little lunch for everybody. It was a short little day, a couple hours, but he was telling a story like that. And that's why he made this foundation to help out other Green Berets with families that need a little bit of extra money. I don't want to ruin the story, but he has this really nice story about how he couldn't get back for, I think it was Lincoln.
Lincoln
his son.
Is Lawson's best friend.
Right. And he was stuck in Afghanistan and then he had to catch a flight to Qatar and then somewhere, and then he was in Germany and he ended up paying out of pocket because the military wouldn't pay for the ticket.
Yeah.
So he ended up paying, So, I mean, he's got this story in details a little bit better. But yeah, so that's why he started the foundation because he didn't have the money starting off a family and he's got to eat $3,000. And then another Green Beret foundation eventually reimbursed him half that money.
Yeah.
So it's just soldiers helping soldiers. And as civilians, we should be helping out our soldiers, whether it be active duty or veterans, and, especially with Memorial Day around the corner, we should really show some appreciation because they protect us from all those things. I don't want to go into Afghanistan
And they've
do that.
seen the stuff we're never going to see.
Yeah.
And like the craziest stuff and risking their life. But there's people that making $500 million to play on a basketball team or football team. I think that's absurd. Give it to our military. That's just my opinion. Sorry. I'm very sensitive about the military because I'm all about like people.
All right.
And
well, why don't you take a sip of your Polar Pop and we'll take a break.
It's not Big Gulp this time. Toby Keith, he was all about our troops. All right, welcome back. Riley, our producer, sent us this. So, we love talking about the airlines, but it's a new airplane seat. And I saw this, but I thought, I don't know what's real and what's fake anymore. So I ignored it. This reminds me of we used to have a roller coaster ride in North Carolina at Carowinds, and it was called the Vortex, and you stand up and then it's your seats. So it's a new airplane seat that the manufacturers say would make flights cheaper, would basically require passengers to stand up. So you're standing
up.
The whole flight. And this is what it looks like.
What is it, like a discount airline?
We're going to have to pull up a picture so you can show the people watching.
Oh, you have like a little backrest.
You're standing.
But you have a little backrest.
No, thank you. What if you got a 5-hour flight?
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
And then if you got kids, what are you doing? This is a picture of a guy standing on there. That's ridiculous. No way.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I would rather sit. Or what if you didn't feel well? Somebody's going to pass out.
But so what's the purpose? They could pack more people into the plane
Maybe.
And charge lower fares?
Yeah, anything to save a buck and make more money.
You know what's weird? I don't mean to bash Southwest Airlines.
That means airlines could cut down on fuel and maintenance costs and offer flights at a much cheaper price. If I was flying like an hour away, that's fine. But
how does that cut down on fuel costs? It's still a plane. And it's
I don't know. That's just what the article said. I was just skimming through.
Oh, thanks for all the details for our audience. But anyways, I don't know. I forgot what I was going to say. But I was going to say, I don't mean to bash Southwest Airlines, but it's weird. So I just bought some tickets to go back home to Chicago. And when you buy them in groups, so there's 4 of us, you'd think they'd be cheaper, right? So Southwest, they're really good about if you buy a ticket, say it's $500, and then a couple days later, it's down to $400. They'll credit you back that $100, at no charge, which I really like that Southwest Airlines does. So you could get that and credit yourself for another flight. So even after I book my flights, I continue to look. And if they go down, I just rebook them and then I get that money back. So that's really great. And I don't mean to bash Southwest Airlines because they've been pretty good over the years. And that's really the only airline I fly now because they go to Chicago and that's really all I go to, or LA. And so anyways, but it's just, I thought it was weird that when you buy 4 tickets, it was more, but if I purchased everyone's ticket individually, it was like $70 cheaper per ticket, right? Isn't that weird? Maybe once they hit a certain threshold of numbers, meaning like they hit 70 tickets at X amount of price, then it goes up. So maybe when I bought 4, it was clicking into whatever that threshold is on their on their app or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying?
We're going to Chicago, and then me and the boys are going to go down to North Carolina. It's going to be like $1,200 for me and the boys just to go to North Carolina.
And you keep delaying buying those tickets. I don't understand what you're doing.
I'm excited about the beach. I haven't been to the beach in forever. My mom lives down there now with her new husband. And Big Sexy just so happens to be there. So it's funny, being the middle child of divorced parents who hate each other. The middle child, I feel like, is always the mediator. You try to keep the peace. And so I'm going to stay at the same hotel as my dad, but then my mom's going to come meet me. But then I was like, I need to make sure my dad's out of the hotel so my mom doesn't show up and they don't run into each other.
I think a lot, I mean, I luckily never had to deal with that, but I think a lot of people could relate to your situation because, you know, if they have families of their own and then their parents are divorced and not on good terms for whatever reason, you know, the holidays, Christmas, you got to have two of everything if they can't stand being in the same room with each other.
Yeah, that's why I never go home. But now it's easy because now my mom's not in Charlotte anymore. She's at the beach. But my dad just so happens to be down there at the same time. So I can just like spend a couple days with my dad and then I can see my mom for the rest of the week and then just hang out with her. And it'll be fun. And the boys, it's so funny. I remember my parents when I was a kid at the beach. We were such beach people. I mean, we were there. I'm not joking. Like every weekend we were at the beach because we didn't live that far. And my parents would just sit in beach chairs. And I mean, we would just go. Me and my brother and sister just go way far out. If the current moved us all the way down the beach, it's like your parents back then, just nobody cared. It's like, oh, they'll find their way back. And that's like what we did. And we'd be out there trying to get starfish. Oh, it's like Lawson's age, like 8.
Really?
Yeah.
By the ocean?
Yeah. We would just go out there and swim. And I mean, my parents had us in like swimming lessons and swim teams. So we were good swimmers when we were younger. So they never even thought twice about it. We had rafts, boogie boards, but I mean, they just would sit on the beach the whole time and fine. And I think about Lawson and I was telling my mom, it's like, oh, if Lawson or Leighton are there, because mom's like, oh, am I going to get boogie boards? And I was like, yeah, of course. But I'm like, oh, wait, I have to be like right there in the water. Like I'm not laid back like I thought I would be because I'm like, it's the ocean.
No, I'm not laid back either with the ocean. I'm pretty laid back for other things. Like they're outside playing right now.
Yeah, but this is a conversation I had in my meeting. You remember I told you with the girls and to talk about summer plans. And we ended up not really talking about summer plans. And we get on these subjects. And we were all talking about when we were younger that I was 8 years old. Everybody else, everybody that I met were all the same age. And we were laughing because I was saying this, if I worked a 9 to 5, like working like what you do with how many times the kids are sick or just something going on, I'm like, I would have to call out all the time or events and I wouldn't be off. I've worked jobs where my bosses wouldn't let me have off and like in LA. And I'm like, how would I make that work? And then now with your schedule, you don't get off or anything. And we laughed because I go, what did we do? My mom worked a 9 to 5 job. So did my dad. And they go, you stayed home by yourself. And that's what we were laughing about because the boys, I feel like the 90s kids were so much more mature and independent. I was cooking my own Velveeta mac and cheese by myself. Me, my brother and sister were home. There were no cell phones then. Your parents just knew, okay, hopefully they got off the school bus and made it home. And then I would call my mom, let her know we were inside. She wouldn't get home till like 5:30, 6 o'clock. If we were hungry, we were allowed to make Velveeta cheese. It was either me and my sister, me or Jana making it. And we would go outside and play. And if my mom got home and we were gone, we knew we just had to be home before it got super dark. And that's how it was. And I put myself in my parents' shoes. Now I'm like, my kids rely on me for everything. Today, Lawson's like, Mom, can you open this straw for me? It was like in the wrapper. Hey, Mom, can you open this for me? My kids couldn't even make mac and cheese by themselves. It's just funny how it was back then.
Yeah.
Or parents are like, well, they can stay home by themselves, right? I've even thought sometimes like when I need to run just like right down the street, I'm like, well, Lawson's 8. If I left him my cell phone, he'd be fine. And all of our neighbors are all here. And then I'm like, no, I can't do that.
It's just, I don't know. It's a different.
What about when because you're like 8, you're an 80s kid. I was a 90s kid, but you're an 80s kid. I felt like there people were smoking ciggies as you're blowing out your birthday cake, you know?
Dude, I would sleep on the bottom, on the floor of our station wagon. I'd sleep like in the back seat on the floor.
Yeah, not being buckled.
Yeah, I'd just be laying down there. I remember that, like as a kid. And I was real little.
You had a station wagon?
Yeah, we had a station. I think it had the paneling and everything, if I remember correctly.
What?
I think we did.
Wow, that is 80s.
Yeah, but I had 2 older brothers that were 5 and 7 years. I still do. I don't know why I said I did. But I have 2 brothers that are 5 and 7 years older than me. So I would just follow them around. And I don't remember when they were always up and down in the block playing around. So I was outside till the streetlights came on, you know? So I was pretty independent. And with the third child, your parents are a little bit looser, you know? They're like, whatever.
Yeah.
Go on, ride your bike. And we had a park across this busy street. And that was it, like Lawrence Avenue. So it's like, my mom's like, be careful crossing the street, you know? And then once I crossed the street, I was at the park. And then that's where every basketball courts, baseball games, football practice, everything. I would just go by myself.
I wouldn't trust my kids to cross the street at all. They don't pay attention
But
to
here's
nothing.
the thing. Now, this day and age, you know, with social media and everything flying around, it's like if you let your kid cross the street like that and God forbid something happens, you're going to jail as a parent.
Yeah.
You know, back then it was like a traumatic accident, something happened, the guy wasn't paying attention, whatever it may be. Now you're to blame, you know, as a parent. That's negligence. And then you lose your child. You know, again, I hope nothing happens. But it's a different world we live in, I think, that way. I know some people are independent and they raise their kids differently, but I'm just a little more, I don't know. I'm on top, like the ocean. I don't trust them in the ocean with all the riptide and things like that. I'm not letting them run down by themselves.
Because Lawson goes, is dad going? I go, no, he's not going. And he goes, who's going to throw the football with me? You and grandma? I go, grandma might. And because my mom always likes walking or doing something. And so I told my mom, I was like, we're going to have to like be in the ocean. It's not like how it was when I was a kid. Like it was just so laid back.
Yeah, everything's different. Sleepovers are different. We were just talking about that.
Yeah,
like,
no.
Sleepovers all the time when I was a kid. Now, no sleepovers.
Like if I had
don't want
to leave
kids
my kids
sleeping
with
here.
no, I don't want any kids here.
I mean, my very, very close friends, our neighbors are very close friends. Maybe, you know, maybe. But I'm not getting into a habit of, yes, you could sleep over here if it's like an emergency.
We call it sleep unders. That means you just stay up past your bedtime with your parents are up and then everybody goes home. And we live so close, obviously, to our neighbors and the people we're the closest with that I'm like, there's no need for a sleepover.
Yeah, but I don't even want people sleeping here. I don't want the responsibility of someone cracking their head open because they got too rough. And then all of a sudden you're the parent, like, where were you?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I was having some beers out on the deck while they cracked their head open.
Yeah.
Have fun in jail.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like some creep that you thought was cool that you don't know and you find out the hard way. No, thank you. I'm not having that.
It's not for me. We're just a little more protective.
Yeah, I am. So maybe I should
thought we would be
loosen up a little bit, but I don't know. Times are different. I was a wild kid and I did wild things, you know, but I don't want my kids doing that. But I guess at some point you got to let them grow their wings or whatever the term is.
My kids want an electric scooter. That's what they keep asking me for. And all I see is a trip to the emergency room. And I'm like, no, we're not doing that. And I let them ride their non-electric scooters, but they're like, those are babies. That's what babies ride on. And it's like it's not cool because the other kids their age have electric scooters and it's cool to ride around the neighborhood in that.
Because there's one of our neighbors, how old's Cole? He's like
12.
12.
Yeah.
So all of his friends have electric scooters. So they're like the street toughs in the neighborhood. They're not street toughs. I'm just kidding. But, you know, they see that and then they just want to replicate that, you know?
Oh, yeah, because Lawson sees the older boys and like looks up to them.
Yeah, he sees their shorts real high and he wants to wear his shorts real high.
Oh, my gosh. He rolls his shorts up like 5 times. I'm like, no. Pull those shorts back down. I don't know why. They like their socks up high with their Birkenstocks and they roll their shorts up like 5 times and then they wear like these long shirts. Like the style is just so weird.
Yeah. Yesterday I was getting the kids. It was time to come in and they were playing, him and his little buddy who he played lacrosse with and our neighbor's the coach. And they were joking around and they rolled their shorts way up, like really too high up. And I was like, what are you guys doing? I came out and then Zach came out at the same time and he goes, oh, no. What are you guys doing? He goes, I'm embarrassed to be your coach. Roll your pants down right now. And that was the end of the night. Yeah. But they were being goofy. They still roll them up high, but they were being goofy and they tried to see if they could roll them all the way. You know, they were just being
And
goofballs.
then Leighton just follows. And then the youngest one that's 4 years old, our neighbor's son, he's so cute. Like the other day I pulled in the garage and I had my coffees and then all of a sudden I see this little head pop by. He's, hey, Jordan, how was your coffee? I'm like, it was great. what are you doing? And he's like, can I go in your house and watch Minecraft? I go in. And he just goes in and just makes himself at home and like gets a snack. But I love that.
Yeah.
That's my favorite, is that all the kids just go in and out. But,
In-N-Out Burger. All right, let's wrap this up. Let's read
your
one
quote.
of these and then we'll get out of here. Sorry, this was kind of just family stuff today. You know, we're so random.
Whatever. It's real life. I say that all the time.
Stand-up airplanes? All right, here, let's get to it.
Stand-up airplanes and cleaning your house and rolling up your shorts.
And Polar Pops.
Polar
All right,
Pop.
here we go. How people treat you is their karma. How you react is yours. It's true.
It's so true.
You gotta.
Be kind to everybody.
That's for you.
Thank you, Jeff.
You want this? Put it on your mirror in the morning. You can look at it.
No, thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for subscribing, liking, all that good stuff.
Downloading, tagging your friends.
Again, we got a lot going on. New merch should be coming out soon, but you know, that's taking a back seat right now. But yeah, thank you for everything, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Yay Media Group.